Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie, and this is a mini episode. So this is where we will read either either like a theme of a bunch of stories, or we will read a story with multiple updates. And today it's a story with multiple updates. So if you haven't already, please press the subscribe button, maybe the like button, because then it will push my video out to like-minded people like you who like these types of videos, and I would really appreciate that. And I seriously genuinely support any little piece of support that I get. Like, wait, did I say genuinely support? I meant genuinely appreciate. Did I say that? I don't know. But I genuinely appreciate any amount of support that I get. Like one view, one like, one comment, one subscriber. I genuinely, everything means so much to me, and you guys have no idea. So let's get into this episode. All right. I need to take a breather for this because this one's kind of long. My mother's new fiance wants me to call him Dad. He's 24. I'm 35. How do I navigate this? Please buckle in because this is all so weird. I'm a 35-year-old man, and for some backstory, my dad died when I was 19, leaving my mom with me and my two siblings. I'm the oldest. It took some time, but eventually my mom started dating again. We don't live together per se, but our houses back onto each other and have a gate, so it's pretty common for her to offer to do my laundry or me just go over for dinner or go look after our dog, that kind of stuff. Plus, me and my siblings go over there for dinner every other Friday night or so. A bit after she started, the men she's been dating have been getting younger and younger, and I've never had a problem with them. She's been very open to me and my siblings that she wants to get married again, and we've always been supportive. At least after the initial shocks, lol. The latest guy is by far the most serious, and they've been dating since around last June. He proposed at the start of autumn, and they want to get married next summer. Again, me and my siblings are fine with this because it's her life and we trust him. He's a nice guy, and they clearly love each other. But anyway, so long and short is this weekend her fiance, let's call him Phil, calls me and asks me if I could come over. I say, yeah, sure, I'll be over after work, and I assumed he just needed help with some DIY stuff that they're doing. When I get over there, he calls me Sport and says, we need to talk. I should mention that this is something he does to me and my little brother, calling us things like kid, sport, scout, little buddy, or my personal favorite, calling us red and blue, seemingly out of nowhere. My brother is 30, by the way. He tried it with my little sister, who is 28 too, once, and called her princess once, but he stopped when she just stared at him. So the thing is with Phil is that he reminds me a lot of Charlie Day's character in Horrible Bosses, in that his sole ambition has always been to meet a girl, get married, and have a family. When he told me and my brother this, my brother made some joke about how maybe our mom's going to come short on the last part, and he got very upset, but they made up after. Anyway, so I go around, I ask if my mom's around, and he says no, it's just him and that we really need to talk man to man. I say sure, and he starts talking about how he's always wanted to be a father, etc., and raise a son to call his own, and then he drops this bombshell by saying, now I know I can never replace your father, the man who made you, but it would mean the world to me if you could call me Dad. I'll admit it, I snickered a little, and then I knew he was serious because he looked like he was about to cry, and he didn't drop it either. I asked if he really meant it, and he got really emotional and started talking about what it means to be a man and how his purpose is to and provide for a family, and he wants me and my siblings to be part of that family. Like, he reiterated he'll never replace my father, and this did rub me the wrong way a bit. And he's ready to step up and be my dad and provide for and protect me and my siblings. And I'm just sat there thinking, dude, I'm a decade older than you and live in a separate house. I don't need providing for. And even if I did, I don't think a guy a third of my age who works a part-time at the hardware store and is into collecting manga is the man to do it. No offense if you're into that. LOL. I don't know. I was taken a bit back. I was in shock, so I just said okay, and he gets emotional again, but in a happy way, talking about how he wants to go camping or go to a baseball game. I don't even like baseball. And how he joined the Lions this year and how he wants to bring me into it as his boy, which just feels so surreal. Even more so as I'm a Shriner, so all this talk of service and charity isn't the brag he thinks it is. Because again, I'm 10 years older than this guy. Well, I ended it by just saying, this has gotten a bit too weird, and I was going home. He got very upset and I left. Called my brother and he agreed it sounds weird as F. Later, my mom called me, and she wasn't disappointed but admitted it made him very upset and depressed. I told her that if he's embarrassed, he doesn't need to be. I get he's excited about the marriage, and we can just laugh at this off as a funny story. She then said that wasn't what he was upset about. He, and she too a bit, is upset about the fact that he poured his heart out and I rejected him. She said, yeah, it is a bit kooky, but this is how he proves to himself he's a man. And I guess I was a bit angry and said something like, first off, it's not my job to certify what's between his legs. And second, this doesn't prove he's a man. It just proves he's a nut job. I apologized immediately, but she said she didn't want to hear it and hung up. She called back 10 minutes later and we apologized, and she begged me to just go along with it until he has some kids to call his own. I won't go too much into the details here, but she sort of let it slip that they planned to try IVF treatment because she's not ready to give up on being a mom yet. And while I have my own thoughts about whether or not that's a good idea, I'm not here to litigate on that. We finished up fine, and I reiterated I'd support her, and she agreed that it was definitely a stressful situation for me, but begged me to at least think about it, which leads me to here. I did think it over, and obviously I'm going to say no. I had a dad and he died. Rest in peace, Dad. And that's the only dad I've ever needed, I've ever wanted, and I'll ever bestow that title on. I'm not asking if someone's unreasonable or what I should do, more so what I should say. This clearly means a lot to him for some reason. I deeply love my mom, so I want to try to minimize the damage, especially as we're still so involved in each other's lives and they live behind me. How can I make it clear to them as painlessly as possible that I think this is weird and borderline offensive? I really don't want to rip the band-aid off because I fear what it might do to the family. I'm actually shook right now because this is like the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life. Also, I feel like I didn't mention that the mom is 58, which I don't think I did. And honestly, that, or wait, 58? Yeah. 58. Like, what? I don't know what I would do in that situation. I would definitely be like very upfront and be like, excuse me, I'm actually like way older than you, dude. I'm not calling you dad. You could be my son. I'm not calling you dad. Like, you're weird if you think that I'm calling you dad. What? You have to have some mental issues if he genuinely thinks that. And that's the most concerning part, is that it seems like he has some issues that have not been attended to. And he really needs to, like, do something about that because what the hell is wrong with you? Also, I wonder how that's going to work with a mom that's 58. Like, I feel like what's the oldest someone's had a child at? Because 58 seems like she's gone through menopause, no? How has she not gone through menopause yet? I'm very, very, very confused. Okay, but we're going to read the update. There's two updates. There's one that's long and one that's pretty short. I'm very interested to see what's happening. My mother's new fiance wants me to call him Dad. He's 24. How do I navigate this? Update. Okay, this was posted November 16th, 2024, which is 4 days later than the original post. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I told both my siblings and we agreed we would collectively put our foot down with Phil at our next family dinner next week, especially after an incident where Phil referred to my brother as sport and asked if he wanted to go see a baseball game with him. Admittedly, I was a bit spurred on by what you all said and got involved pinging him back with, "Oh, no tickets for me, Daddy." And my brother responded with, "Daddy wants me all to himself? And Phil took a few minutes to respond before saying he was shocked, speechless, and disgusted. He then messaged me in private to say he was utterly appalled and that he'd never disrespect his own father the way you boys did. I kind of lost it at this point and said, right, that's because you're not my father, Phil. You're a 24-year-old man child dating my mother. You have no right to my respect, especially not to the respect a father gets. I immediately said sorry, but then blocked his number and left the group chat. Apparently, he sent a similar thing to my brother, who responded with more daddy stuff, and Phil blocked him. Well, that aside, I don't think that family dinner is going ahead. After the original post blew up, it seems someone from his Lions Club found it and reported it to their chair or whatever, and Phil has been either expelled or resigned or in the process of one of the two. He has removed nearly all mentions of the Lions from his social media and no longer mentions being a member, with his last post on it being some cryptic goodbye post where he kind of drones on about what it means to be a man in the modern day and the duty of fatherhood bestowed on all men at birth. Really weird shit. My mom called me, half in a panic, half in a rage after, about the stuff I'd been telling about him before breaking down and saying we need to meet, which we did and got my brother to go over too. I know he has temporarily moved back in with his parents in the next town over, but from my understanding, they still want to go ahead with the wedding. But I think that's more so because they've already spent money on it. When she said she was determined to have more kids, plural, my brother did step up and ask if she really thought that was a good idea at her age. And I pointed out that assuming she had the baby next year and she lived to 80, they still wouldn't have even finished college. She just stammered on about how people live longer these days before breaking down crying and admitting she's not ready to give up on mothering due to some deep-seated trauma and fears about the family breaking apart that I won't go into for her sake. When we reassured her that we weren't going anywhere, she calmed down and we had a very good honest conversation where she's agreed to drop the IVF stuff on the grounds that it'd be too expensive and unlikely to get greenlit, but she's still adamant it's scientifically possible and she should be allowed to do it from an ethical standpoint because she has to win the argument, and has agreed to look into fostering instead. Me and my brother highly doubt anything will ever come of that, so we're not that worried anymore. The very good news is that she's also looked into therapy and psychiatric help to deal with her trauma, and we've helped her get in touch with a nice lady in town to unpack all this in a more healthy way. So, at least the one person is getting help that they need. I have no idea what's happened with Phil or what's going to happen with him, but I did make it clear to my mom that he's not my dad. He's not even my stepdad. I'm not a kid, and he's never going to be either one outside of legal effery. Wait, what? And he's never going to be either one outside of legal effery. I don't know. She relented pretty quick. I think she's finally broken out of her shell at least. And we've agreed that if things go ahead, that's going to be a huge red line, though. I don't know if he'll want to be friends with me after all this LMAO. Anyway, thanks for the help on the original post. Oh my god. What's going on? Dare I say? I don't know, guys. I'm scared. Are these people losing their minds? I hate when it's like makes it sound like it's a normal thing to do. Like, this is not a normal thing. This is not a normal thing. This is like psychotic behavior. They both need to be put in therapy. And also, this 24-year-old man, why is he so obsessed with being. Why is he so obsessed with being a father or a man? Like, what is going on? I'm so confused. It sounds very toxic masculinity and also just like a little bit of psycho behavior. So I'm a little scared, but there's another update. It's a very small update. Update 2. Bit of an update as I can't respond to everybody, but I think the marriage is off. Phil has gone AWOL again and has had a huge argument with his family as they've demanded he call off the wedding and date people his own age. This apparently made him snap. Me and my mom have met his mom and older brother who said Phil is very insecure around girls his own age and has never been able to talk to them, hence his preference. This very deeply upset my mom, and after some begging from all of us, she has agreed to push the wedding back, though she wants to keep dating him. I have no idea where Phil is. Though his brother assumes he's couch surfing with his D&D friends who have been sending me and my brother some not nice messages because clearly we're just jealous of the MILF hunter. If any of you socially inept Fs are reading this, I don't need to chase middle-aged folk because I can talk to boys my own age like a normal person. Peace. Okay, slay, queen. But yeah, I fear that this relationship is over, and I do fear that this guy does probably need some experience with girls around his own age. Like, I'm, it's just a little, like, it's weird. 58 and 24 is very weird. I feel like by the age of 58, like, how do you even want to be in a relationship? I would be so over it. It'd be like, oh my God. Especially with someone young, it feels like you're starting all over. Like, I don't know. I feel like by the time I'm older, like, I'm going to be so over all the stages of being young. I'm just going to want to be old and, like, lay around and chill and be like, oh, I lived a good life. Now it's time for me to relax. Go on a few vacations here and there. Like, maybe my kids will have some grandchildren. You know, I'll have, hopefully, oh my God. I just remembered that my cats aren't going to be here when I'm 60. And now I'm upset. Oh my God, that's actually so messed up. I don't understand why cats live so short. Why do they have such like short lifespans? Why can't they have like the lifespans of tortoises? That's just what I'm confused about. And it's really, honestly, it affects me on the daily. Because tell me why I have an animal that's going to die by the time I'm 50. Like, what? No, that shouldn't be allowed. That shouldn't be legal. I should be able to have my animal for the time that I'm alive, and then maybe we die together and they can get buried with me. Like, I just don't understand because you're telling me I have to go through the death of 3 cats. And then after that, you're telling me I'm going to have no animals because I'm going to need to get more cats. Like, I'm going to need to get more. And then oh my God, stop. I'm so stressed. Oh my God, stop. Okay, I need to live in the present moment. I always do this. I always do this. I always get so upset about things that are going to happen in the future because, like, obviously people are going to die and I'm going to be really sad. And, like, I just don't think my mental state can handle that. And it's very, honestly, I'm very scared for when that day comes that someone, like, very close to me in my family passes away because I don't know how I'm going to live after that. I just can't believe that. When I was little, I always thought maybe by the time I'm older, like, we'll have figured out how to, like, live forever, you know? I don't really want to necessarily live forever, but I would love to be able to choose, like, okay, I'm kind of over life now. Like, I'm 175 years old. I'm ready to kick the bucket. And then die. But, like, you're telling me I can't decide and I might just, oh my God, stop. Okay, I'm going to spiral. I'm going to literally spiral. And I'm not going to do that right now because that's actually crazy. But, yeah, life is kind of scary and life is sad. And, like, that's why there better be something after life. Because are you telling me I suffered all, okay, I'm acting like my life is so terrible. But, like, genuinely, if you're not like a super rich person who literally has no cares in the world because they can just buy anything they want and buy, like, money buys happiness, okay? Let's not be fake here. We all know that money buys happiness because money can buy therapy. Money can buy like every type of therapy you want. Money can buy so much stuff that like helps your mental health, not just like materialistic things, but it gives you access to so much stuff and so many different means of like feeling better and feeling happier. So don't even try to tell me that money doesn't buy happiness and that's just why I feel like the fact that I'm just living right now and just like living day to day life and just experiencing day to day life, like mundane, waking up, going to the gym, then like doing work, then like making dinner, and then going to like watch some Netflix and going to bed. that's just like not that fun. So if you're telling me that I have to live, okay, I'm not saying have to, like I obviously don't want to die, but you're telling me that I'm gonna live until what, 90 years old, and then I'm gonna die, and then it's gonna be black after that? Like, that's what my boyfriend thinks is gonna happen. That's genuinely like the worst case scenario. Because although I won't know if I do die and that is what happens and I like don't go to heaven, if heaven doesn't exist, and then that's just terrible. Like, you're telling me I lived through this life to get nowhere, to just crumble into ashes and bones? Ew. Ew. Stop. Don't. That's so rude, honestly. That pisses me off. So, if anyone wants to discover the meaning of life, that would be really great and really appreciated because I'm so sick of wondering. And also, if anyone wants to tell me what the fucking aliens look like that the government has been finding, please let me know, because why do they always say they find aliens and then it's like, okay, where? Introduce me, like, hi, nice to meet you, I'm ready to see them, let's go, let's go. The closest thing we've gotten to a picture is that fake ass mummified alien version of freaking cardboard ET in Mexico City or whatever that they found, which was definitely not real, because you're telling me that little tiny cardboard statue is an alien? Okay, sure, whatever you say. But yeah, I really need to know because I just want to see aliens come out of the ocean, if that's, I guess, where they are now. I guess they're in the ocean, which, does that really mean they're aliens if they're in the ocean? Because they're living on Earth. So, like, isn't alien an extraterrestrial being? Like, they should live on a different planet, not on our planet in the ocean? Wouldn't that just be like a sea creature? They're mermaids? So you discovered mermaids. Just say it. Like, they're mermaids. They're not aliens. They're mermaids. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. And I rest my case. Okay. Anyways, let me just shut the fuck up now. That's the end of our episode. We're going to wrap it up, and I'm going to go pick out my outfit for this fancy dinner that I'm going to. And I'm not a fancy dinner person. I don't know what the hell. I'm going to be so uncomfortable. I'm going to be like, also, I don't have nice clothes like that. So I'm going to be like, yeah, I thrifted this for 55 cents. Yeah. Oh, I like your pants. Oh, thanks. I got them for $2.39 at the thrift store. I can't say that to a rich person. Like, I'm just not meant to be in that world. I'm really not. But I hope you enjoyed this episode, and let me know what you thought about the stories that we read, or the story that we read in the updates, because obviously that was crazy. I've never heard anything like it. It's really crazy, and I love you guys. And I'll see you in the next episode of the Storytime Society. Mwah. Bye.